Howdy there folks, I'm Quinn of Snazzy Labs and this is the video review of the iDo case for iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S from RampantInnovations.com. Now, when Chris from Rampant Innovations contacted me to see if I wanted to review this case, I checked out their website and thought this is the most ridiculous case ever. There's no way I'm ever going to use this. I did kind of reluctantly say, okay, send a couple over so I can try them out. And I must say, after about a week and a half to 2 weeks worth of use, it's been probably one of my favorite thin cases because this ring does do a lot of stuff. Even some stuff that Rampant Innovations doesn't advertise it to do. Now, it's a little bit weird at first, but it is pretty darn cool, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. Now, it comes in a myriad of different colors, amongst which are black, blue, purple, red, white, and of course pink. And it comes in two ring sizes. There's a small and a large. Now, the large is going to fit just about everyone. It fits me because the small is pretty darn small, and unless you have little dainty hands like MTP Flyers, you're going to want to go with probably the large ring. So, I've got the large ring, I've got the black case, $17.99. What do I get with it? Well, not a lot. You get the case, the instructions, and a little bag that it comes in. No fancy packaging, you just get the product. Now, it's built out of a very, very rigid polycarbonate construction, which is excellent because even though this case is thin, it is super durable and it's not very resistant. It is very resistant to fluctuation, which is pretty nice to see. And even though this case is thin, I feel like it's a little bit more protective than some of the other thin cases out on the market. It shouldn't need to be thin though, or it shouldn't need to be thick or super protective because this ring is designed so that when you take your phone into your hand, you slide your finger through this ring and the case stays stagnant. Your phone won't fall out. And this does relatively stay the case. Now, if we take the phone, stick it in button side first and snap it on, it's very hard to snap on and very hard to snap off, which is because of the rigidity of the polycarbonate. You're going to get some protection. You get protection on the sides here, and you get a little bit of lay on the table design. Not a ton, but enough to justify that it's there actually doing something. And on the back, you have access to your camera port. I've tried white, black, and pink in this case, and there are no flash issues whatsoever. On the side, you do have pretty much full coverage down here, except for the volume buttons as well as the vibrate switch. Now this is good because it is relatively well protected in this forefront. On the top, you're fully unprotected, and on the bottom, you're fully unprotected. Now if you see that, it's a little bit goofy. That's because I do have a rear screen shield on, and so it does play nice with a front screen shield, but it doesn't play nice with a rear screen shield. So that's why it's snapped on kind of funny, and yours will snap on 100% fine. So I've got my case, bottom's fully unprotected, top is fully unprotected. There is a little lay on the table design, but not a whole lot. So for 18 bucks, you get a case that doesn't add a lot of protection, but this ring is where the magic starts to happen. It pops out very, very nicely and easily, and you can slide your finger right through. Now, it is designed so that if you were to, drop your phone, it stays on your finger, and it does a pretty good job of doing this. However, I've found a lot more uses for this ring that are probably a lot more fun and be a lot more useful than sticking your finger through this to make sure that it doesn't fall out of your hand. Now, the first one, which Rampant Innovations actually does advertise it to do, is this little ring makes it a kickstand. So what you do is you take your phone, there's two angles. This is like a 30-degree angle, and if you tilt it this way, it's a 45-degree angle. Not like super optimum, it's not like the best video stand ever, but it does a pretty darn job, and it's relatively elegant. Now, one thing I would like to mention in the body of the case is this little hump right here. It was very awkward at first, but it's actually become one of my favorite features of the case because it does add a little bit of depth to your iPhone without making it beefy, so you do have a little bit more gripping area, and I actually do really like that when you're not using the ring. So I'm using the ring, I've got it. What do I do? There's a couple things you can do with it. The first one is to ensure that you don't drop it, but this ring has become more of a toy than anything. I love spinning it around in class, and I'll spin my phone around. You can do some pretty neat tricks with it. But the coolest use case for me is using it as a stabilization tool when I shoot video or photos. I shoot tons of video and tons of photos on my iPhone and usually share them with Twitter and Instagram. However, there are a couple issues with the iPhone 4S camera. One is I don't feel stabilization is good. It's supposed to be better in the 4S, but I don't think that it really is. And I found that my video is a lot more jittery, which is very, very annoying. With this ring, what you can do is use it as a tension point right here. So I like to take my videos and take my photos with this button right here. So what I do is I'll take this ring and I pull very, very very, very hard against this case, and it adds a third tension point. I have here, right here. So if you see right here, there's a little bit of loosey-goosiness in your arms, and it does allow for full mobility, but when you're holding it straight, there is a little bit of wiggle right there. Now, if you have tension, it's a lot harder to hold and your arms get a lot more tired, but you can hold it pretty much 100% dead on. When you have this third tension point, it's a lot better for pans, and I found that my video footage is heaps better with this case. It's probably one of the weirdest things about this case. And it's probably something Rampant Innovations never really even thought of, but it has become the #1 reason I keep using this case each and every day, because I love this ring simply for the purposes of camera stabilization. Now, it is going to be good to play with, it is going to be good for a kickstand, and it is going to be good to make sure that it doesn't fall out of your hand. However, that camera stabilization feature is why I use it each and every day, and that's why I love this case so much. I highly recommend you check it out. It really is a weird case, but once you try it, you're going to love it. It's just a matter of fact, and it's been something that has been the case for me. It turns heads, people think, what in the world are you using? You look a little dorky, but when it comes to the end of it, this ring really does do a lot of super handy things, and I've loved using this case, and I really, really can recommend this case, especially considering it's only $17.99. So I'm giving away both models, the black and the white. I have the black and the pink. I do have a white model, which I'm going to save for myself. Standard giveaway entry rules, as we always do. If you're watching this on Vimeo or other video network sites, you will need to go to YouTube and leave a comment below. If you're already on YouTube, fantastic, great. I'm glad you're here. Leave a comment below. What you do have to do is put a P or a B and then your comment so I know which color you want. On that note, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, check out Rampant Innovations at, rampantinnovations.com, me at snazzylabs.com, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.